Now go ahead and take a look at the 33% on top of each bar. You may be thinking to yourself, where is this 33% even coming from? Well, it's just the software letting me know that I have 3 choices and it's splitting it up equally. My audience is not going to see this 33%. They're going to see their results after they answer the question and after myself as the presenter shuts down polling. Remember, we're just creating a presentation. That's all we're doing right now. So the software is just letting me know that I have 3 answer choices. Now, before I ask you guys if you have any questions, let me go ahead and just recap the required steps of creating an interactive slide. First of all, decide where in the PowerPoint presentation it is you want one. Make sure that you bring up the Turning Point ribbon by clicking on that Turning Point 2008 tab. Come over to the icon which reads Insert Slide. Choose from one of the 6 chart types. Insert the slide into the presentation. And now you have 3 required steps. Step 1 is to type out the question. Step 2 is to type out up to the 10 possible answer choices. And step 3 is to left-click outside the box, which will now populate those charts. Case closed. Nothing else is required. I could take this live in the PowerPoint, and this slide is now interactive with my audience. Do you guys have any questions on creating your own basic interactive slides? Alan, go ahead.
After you put in the answer for question 1, or answer 1, how do you get answer 2 to come up? You just push enter and it goes to a number 2?
Right, exactly. And that's all I did was just press the enter button and allowed me to go down to the second choice.
Okay. All right. And then if you happen to press enter and then decide, no, that's all the questions I want, and then you had a 4 up there but blank, how do you get that 4 removed?
All you got to do is just simply highlight it like I'm doing right now, backspace, and it gets rid of it.
Okay. Simple enough.
It's basically, yeah. It's a good question, Alan. I mean, it's basically just like PowerPoint, though. And, you know, often people, they see these Turning Point slides and they think it's something completely different than PowerPoint. But it's still PowerPoint, to be quite honest with you. It still has all the same functions, all the same mechanics, and it pretty much functions, like works the same way as PowerPoint. Like I said, it just becomes interactive when we take it in the presentation. But, you know, don't think of it as anything being too far removed from a standard PowerPoint slide, though.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and insert a second chart slide. So back up to the Insert Slide tab. This time let's put in a distributed pie. Okay, so it builds it right into my presentation. We can now see it's slide number 4. And as we've learned, we have 3 required steps. Step number 1 is to type out a question. Required step number 2, up to our 10 possible answer choices. Once again, I'll go ahead and stick with 3. Remember, we could have up to 10. And my third and my final step, if I'd like it to be, all I'm doing is bringing my cursor outside that segmented box. I'm left-clicking 1 time, and as we can see, it populated my 3 evenly distributed pieces of the pie. Now, as we've learned, nothing else is required beyond this. This slide is now an interactive Turning Point slide. That's all I had to do was the 3 required steps. But go ahead and take a look at my question here. Where is Turning Tech located? Well, this is a little bit different than how was your day, because how was your day doesn't necessarily have a right or wrong answer choice. Or on the other hand, Turning Tech does. So I have an additional step here, and my additional step is to go ahead and set a correct answer choice. So if you need to set a correct answer choice, this is going to be done on the right-hand side of the slide where we have our menu pane. So take a look at my menu pane on the far right-hand side of your screen. And the last thing on there reads Answer Values. Now in this case, answer choice number 1 is the correct choice. Therefore, I'm going to click on my first drop-down menu, select Correct. Now notice how that made answer choice 2 and 3 for Cleveland and Dallas incorrect. So if I need to, I'll set a correct answer choice on the right-hand side of my menu pane in the last option where I have Answer Values. Now, I do want to move forward and just talk about some additional objects that could be placed into the slide. The key word here is additional. In fact, everything that I'm showing you beyond the 3 steps is additional. Absolutely nothing else is required for these slides to work when you bring them live in the presentation. Now, if I'm interested in additional objects, I'm going to come up to the ribbon, and it would just seem to make sense, right? Insert object to put in these additional objects. So when I click on Insert Object, you can see it gives me a drop-down menu. And I'm going to talk about two of the most popular features that individuals like to use. The first one's the countdown. The countdown is a timer which sets a limit to how long our audience has to answer this particular question. So when I click on the countdown, do notice how it places it in the lower right-hand corner of the slide, and it reads 20 seconds. Now, if I want to increase or decrease the amount of time my audience will have, I'll go ahead and left-click in between the 2 and the 0. This is now going to ask me to enter a value anywhere between 1 and 999 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and type out 25, press OK, and as you can see, my countdown timer has changed. Now, as I've been mentioning right from the beginning, this is still basically a PowerPoint slide. So just like in PowerPoint, if I don't like the location of something, it can be moved. Just like in PowerPoint, if I don't like the size of an object, I can increase the size, or in this case with a chart, decrease the size. Also, let's say that my question is really long and I need to decrease the font size. I can highlight it, go to my Home tab, and decrease it as I feel necessary. Okay, so just like PowerPoint, the only difference is where we went to insert the slide. We went to the Turning Point ribbon, and we went through those 3 required steps. Now, I do have one additional object I'd like to show you. So back up to my Insert Object tab on the ribbon, and this one's going to be located at the 3rd option from the bottom, which reads Correct Answer Indicator. This is going to do just that. Indicate to my audience once polling closes down which answer choice was the correct one. So everything on the right-hand side does the same thing, just looks a little bit different. So if I click on the check mark, of course it's displaying next to Youngstown right now because Youngstown was the choice that I set as correct. Now, before I ask you guys if you have any additional questions, let me just go ahead and take a moment to briefly recap how we got to this point. So remember, I first of all opened up TurningPoint. That was the first thing that I did. And when I opened up TurningPoint, it opened up a blank presentation. Since I already had an existing PowerPoint I wanted to integrate these slides within, I next opened that up. I decided where in the presentation it was that I want there to be an interactive slide. I clicked on my TurningPoint 2008 tab, which brought up my ribbon, and went to the Insert Slide tab. I chose from one of the 6 chart types. After I inserted the slide, we had just 3 required steps to be completely done with the slide if we would like to be. Step number 1 was the question. Step number 2 was up to 10 answer choices. Step number 3, left-click outside the box. Nothing else is required. The second slide, we did the exact same 3 steps, although we took this a little bit further. We set a correct answer choice on the far right-hand side where we have answer values. And we also inserted 2 additional objects from that Insert Object tab, starting with the countdown timer, which sets a limit, and the other one, of course, was the correct answer indicator, which gives your audience visual confirmation as to which answer choice was correct once you shut down polling. So Alan and company, do you guys have any questions regarding creating your own Turning Point slides?
No, but you are going to get into how this one slide has several progressions in it when you're actually doing the presentation?
Absolutely, Alan. So we're going to get there in terms of running the presentation, how all these come in, and what the sequence looks like.
Okay, I figured you was going to get there, so I'll hold that.
Absolutely. All right, so remember, we're covering this pretty logically, though, so the same way that you'll do it, I'm going to go ahead and train you on. So think about this. You're sitting down, you're at your office, you're at home, and you just got done creating your presentation, so your next step, of course, is going to be save your presentation. Well, let's think about this for a second. How do I save this presentation? Well, what is this presentation still? This presentation is still PowerPoint. Just because we're integrating Turning Point slides in here doesn't change the way that we're going to save it. Always remember this. Turning Point's integrated within PowerPoint. PowerPoint is not integrated within Turning Point. I don't think Bill Gates would be very happy about that. Therefore, I'm still saving it the same way that I would always save any PowerPoint presentation. So I went to Save As a PowerPoint, and I can save this to my documents, a shared network, a flash drive, or any other place that I would normally save a presentation. Nothing at all has changed. You guys have any questions on where to save? All right, now before we move on and talk about those 8 steps of running a presentation, it is absolutely necessary that we'll talk about the required hardware. So Alan, right now, on the left-hand side, I am projecting our 4 RF response cards. So which one of these response cards over here on the left are going to be the ones that you guys are going to be using?
We have the one where your cursor is now.
Okay, so the response card RF LCD, very nice response card. Now, the great thing with the LCD response card is that it does function the same way as our standard RF response card, but this one does show you answer confirmation, channel confirmation, signal strength, as well as battery life, which makes it very nice to be able to visually see it.